Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the right approach of assessing the transit of the planets. Because friends, if I were to pick up the most frequently asked question in all of my videos or in majority of the astrology channel videos are whether I should see this transit video from my ascendant or from my moon sign. So I just thought of making a compiled video explaining that difference only, because as you know that we are about to enter a month of April, which is going to be filled with many surprises, as many planets are going to be changing their residences or changing their zodiac signs. So friends, to begin with, like the 4 charts which I am going to be putting emphasis in this video are: first is your ascendant chart, second is your moon chart, third is going to be your sun sign chart, and fourth is going to be your Dasha Lord chart. And we will try to understand the difference between the offering or the information which can be kind of extracted out of these 4 charts. So friends, to begin with the ascendant chart. So friends, ascendant chart is very important because ascendant chart just gives information regarding the concrete development, progress and physical movement of your life. So you got married, what kind of substantial changes took place in your life, tangible, visible, which can be experienced. You got a new job, you got a promotion, you got some sort of titles, what kind of development and physical changes those accomplishments brought into your life. All of that we will get to know by studying the impact of the planets, whether it's about your dasha or whether it's about the transit of the planets, by assessing it from the ascendant chart. So in short, ascendant chart just tells about the path which you have to follow in this lifetime. Now comes the second chart, the moon chart. So friends, the concept is very simple. In your chart, wheresoever your moon is placed, all the planets are going to be placed in the same zodiac sign. All what you have to do is that you have to shift and make your moon sign as your ascendant. Now these days in majority of the apps, they have this readily available option that the moon chart is being provided along with all of your details and all of your charts. So now friends, when we talk about the moon sign and assessing the transit or the dasha from the moon sign, that becomes very important, because when we talk about the way you look at things. Now I'm going to give you a very simple example. So now for example, if you are going to see the chart of someone who's going to have a Gemini ascendant, okay, so the person has got Gemini ascendant, come to this person's 7th house. 7th house lord, which is the planet Jupiter. Now if Jupiter is going to be placed in the 8th house, so it means 7th house lord is debilitated. It is also placed in a very Dushtana bhav, and over and above that, let's say for example, a Rahu is also placed over there, or Saturn is also placed over there. So that is going to give you this idea that for sure this person is going to have a very difficult karma or difficult path which this native has to face in the marriage. Now if you will start talking to this person, whether a guy or a girl, and you will find that this person is not at all complaining about his marriage or whatsoever is happening in the matrimonial life. Now you must be wondering, now what's the case, man? Why this person is not complaining? Looking at his severely afflicted 7th house condition, he should be all whining and all complaining about his matrimonial life. But the moment you are going to see the placement from the moon sign, so for this same person, if you are going to find that this person has got his moon to be placed in the 3rd house, so for a Gemini rising, the moon is placed in the 3rd house in the Leo sign, and 7th from there is going to be the 9th house. Now if you are going to find over there the placement of Mercury or Venus, so now friends, the difference which is going to make over here is that the path of marriage for this native is filled with difficulties, but even in that path, that person has got that innate potential and capacity to appreciate whatsoever divinity or God or universe has provided to them. We have all witnessed all those kind of cases where people, irrespective of life being filled with all difficulties, they are always grateful, they are always happy. And we have also witnessed all those kind of people where everything is happy, dandy, spick and span, and still these people always keep on complaining and whining about the life. So all of that difference we get to know from looking at the life from the moon sign. Same way friends, looking at the prospects of the marriage, prospects of the career. So whatsoever your concrete accomplishment, struggle, delays, success is indicated from the ascendant chart, that is going to remain the same only. The moment you are going to assess the 10th house from the moon, it is going to tell you about in that path what is your psychological state, what is your outlook towards looking at the development and progress of your career. So that is the only reason friends, we have to give attention to moon sign as well. Now coming to this point, that when we talk about either the dasha or when we talk about either the transit, so friends, my own research says this thing, or my own finding is that, whether in my own personal life or whether in my consulting experience, that when we specifically talk about the karmic planet Saturn, Rahu and Ketu, so from their perspective it is always advisable to look at or study that transit from the moon sign. So that is going to give you more precise detail that how planetary vibration is going to be impacting you. That is the only reason friends, when we talk about the Saturn's Sade Sati means added responsibilities, result of your own deeds, of your own actions, and something which cannot be avoided. You cannot evade what Saturn has in store for you, whether it's good or whether it's bad. That is something which is the result of your own actions. You have to endure that. So that is the only reason friends, when we talk about Rahu, Ketu, who holds this key of giving you something which you have no idea about, or something which is connected with your purpose in this lifetime, or something which has some connection with your past life, which is the domain of Ketu. So that and those all kind of circumstances and results can be best assessed if you're going to look at it or study it from the moon sign. So friends, that doesn't mean that you cannot look at or study the transit of the sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars or Jupiter from the moon sign. You can also look at it from moon sign as well. Definitely Jupiter is about feel good factor. Jupiter is all about prosperity, wisdom. So studying and looking at it from the moon sign can also give you clarity. But when we talk about concrete results, substantial results, development, progress, new door of opportunities opening up for you, and specifically lifetime events, when we talk about concerns of marriage, buying a business, getting some investment and funding, so giving attention from the moon sign also plays a pivotal role. But the idea to be taken away from this discussion is that specifically the transit of Saturn, Rahu and Ketu needs to be studied specifically, or more importantly, from the moon sign. Now comes the third chart. Now friends, when we talk about the sun sign and studying the transit or the dasha from the sun sign, so friends, my take on this is that it has more to do with all those people in whose case name, fame, reputation, getting a political seat, political power, or you are in a family business, acquisition of some big business, selling out the business, or some very severe allegation on your reputation. So when all of those concerns are concerned, studying the transit or the dasha from the sun sign, so all what you have to do is that in whichever house your sun is placed, all the planets are going to remain in the same sign. All what you have to do is that you have to make your sun as the ascendant, and then you have to study. So again friends, I'll say the same thing, that specifically if you are an aspiring politician, if you are in a family business, anything to do with dealing with mass media and public acceptance, applying for a government job, so if those mass scale concerns of reputation, public image is a matter of concern for you, or you are in that mode that you are anticipating some big inheritance or family inheritance or legacy, then in those kind of scenarios and cases, studying the transit or the dasha from the sun sign plays very pivotal role. And also friends, like I would also say this thing, that in those kind of very limited cases where people are so much attuned towards spirituality or renunciation, taking a vow of celibacy, or they want to know that will they be able to attain liberation or moksha, will they be able to align their soul with the universal consciousness. So then in those kind of scenarios and cases as well, studying your chart, studying your dasha, studying the transit from the sun sign can also play a pivotal role. Now when I say sun sign or when I say moon sign, it does not mean that you have to study it individually. No, you have to study it in totality with your chart. So wheresoever your planetary alignments are, if you are studying it from the moon sign, you have to make that sign as the ascendant, and then you have to assess the overall impact and influence in your life. Same is applicable for the sun sign as well. Wheresoever your sun is placed in your chart, all the planets are going to be in their own respective signs. You have to make sun as the ascendant, and then you have to see the prospects of your name, fame, recognition. Now friends, the last but the most important chart is your dasha lord chart. So now friends, that becomes very important. You might have very exalted planets in your chart, you might have got very good wealth yoga in your chart, but the concern over here is that you are running a long 19-year long or 16-year long dasha of a debilitated planet. So it means the planet which is in the driving seat of your life, the planet which is right now active in your life and the houses ruled by it, or the planet sitting in those signs ruled by that dasha lord, or even the nakshatra of the activated dasha lord planet, all those planets which are even sitting in those nakshatra of the dasha lord, they might also be activated. So important is that friends, the a phase of your life which is currently activated. Friends, try to understand this thing. I could be a very good example to talk about these things, because my ascendant lord is very strengthened in the 8th house, and I have seriously experienced major and big transformations in the life. And it's not only about the ascendant lord being in the 8th house and strengthened, it's like the dasha, because dasha activated and opens a new chapter, new awareness and new way of looking at the world. So that is the only reason friends, you have to also give attention to the dasha lord as well, because that is going to give you this idea that out of the overall alignment, the complete 360-degree aspect of your chart, which could be your ascendant, your moon sign, which could be your outlook, your subconscious way of looking at things, sun could be the way your soul reverberate, but important is that which aspect is currently active in your life. So what you have to do is that, for example, if you are a Aries ascendant person and your Saturn is placed in the 10th house, so what you have to do is that you have to make that Saturn which is in the 10th house as the first house, and then you have to study whether it's your ongoing dasha or whether it's the major transit. Now when I say major transit, so I mean more on towards the slow moving planets, like specifically Saturn should be given first priority because it changes the sign once after 2.5 years. Then comes Rahu and Ketu, and third comes the Jupiter, because these are the slow moving planets that the phase of your life or the planet in your life which is currently active, how it is responding to the major shift which is taking place in the transit in the sky. So I hope friends that this video is going to clarify everything. I will again summarize this whole video. You have to give attention to your ascendant first while assessing the transit video, because that just tells about that the way concrete development, accomplishment, losing something, gaining something, progress is going to get indicated. Physical, actual, tangible transformation development. You have to study it any transit, any dasha from the moon sign, because it is going to give your psychological approach and attitude towards that sphere of the life. Also the karmic events which cannot be avoided, which Rahu, Ketu and Saturn brings in our life. For that you have to study it from the moon sign. Third is the sun sign becomes more important for all those people in whose case you being a celebrity, you being an aspiring politician, you being in a family business, expecting and awaiting some sort of family inheritance and legacy and all of that. So sun sign becomes more important for you. And lastly, the Mahadasha Lord chart becomes very important for everyone, because it is going to give us this idea that the houses, the phases of our life which are currently activated, how they are responding to the universal vibrations. So that is something, friends, which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs on this concept. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.